exactly. All right, I think we should be going live now.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, hey guys. So this is the final part of the final table review. This is again a 25k buy-in that my buddy Giraffe here won 650k. It's just real, but we get to review it, and well, hopefully we get to enjoy this one. There are a few very interesting spots that we will get to review, and let's go. Let me see if there's something in the chat that we need to take.
Does anybody hear the static? That's the only thing I'm worried about. Because I
Can,
have a lot of static in my mic, my headset, but if people don't hear it, I don't care.
yeah, I can hear it, so probably people won't either. But please let us
Yeah,
know
yeah.
if you can hear some static from Giraffe or either from me.
Because
Also,
when I do like go to webinar, people can hear it, so it's really like it's
oh
annoying. Yeah,
shit,
but maybe
really?
Skype is fine. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, it probably
Yeah,
records it sometimes. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But
Sometimes you're too poor to
I really need a new one.
to get
Yeah.
a new headset, right? So, okay, seems like sound is good. All right, guys, let's get this one rolling.
Okay.
So, first hand after we double up with pocket queens. We have pocket fives, and we just folded, which I like. Just if you think about it, you have a 5 and a 5, which are kind of reverse blockers, and this guy is so shallow. Yeah, probably not worth it when this guy is going to defend everything here, and they can just put so much pressure on you, right?
Yeah. Like this one. This one is like the fives. I would say is kind of an easy fold. Um, I mean, just because like there's a guy with 14 big blinds and it's Daniel Tavoris, so like he is going to take every spot. So I just win so much by folding, and also the guy who's I think second in chips is the whale or the recreational player.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
not a recreational player, but like the guy in the small blind is kind of he has 60 big blinds, so. And he's one like I don't mind playing against anybody, but like it's actually good that like one of the weaker players has a lot of chips as well. So that means that I mean you can't use it as an excuse to fold everything, but it is like a good reason to pass up a couple of like close EV spots. If you don't know what to do, just fold. And ICM is definitely. I think I mentioned the last time as well. Is like
Yeah.
it's different. It's different than a normal game. Like if you don't know what to do, just fold is actually a very good
Yeah, but this is something
advice.
really, really good for you to keep on, hammering on and repeating for, people to really, get this one, because I made this mistake like so much in the past, just punting off big tournaments in the final tables, stuff like that. So yeah, if you know what to do, fold. And I used to do the opposite. I wasn't sure that let's roll it, and that just sucks because typically you're gonna be wrong if you do that.
Yeah.
This one is another that I could see many recreational players making a mistake here of flicking in the call. It's just one more big blind, what? So, but no, don't do it. Terrible hand
No.
to peel here.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a three bet kind of fold hand, but I mean, I'm 17 big blinds deep, so it's not possible. But
Yeah,
it's one of
exactly.
those hands that you can, try and get away with it. But it's like an ICM again. It's not you have again the same thing. Like folding makes you money, so it needs to do better than folding. Yeah.
We just ship it with King 8. I think it's probably okay. We don't have to worry that much about this guy. He doesn't cover us. And Big Blind can also, like, if he calls and loses here, his stack will be crippled. So King Blocker, this is a decent hand to just roll it, I think.
According to Monker and stuff, like in these spots, we have like a super polarized range, and we just jam all of these kind of hands. Um, it always depends on exactly like how the stacks are distributed or whatever you want to call it, but it's a very polarized range. So we want to like raise call off like ace 10 plus, I think something like that, maybe ace 9 against the small blind at
Against
least,
small
and
blind, yeah.
then yeah, and then some other hands like 10s plus, like super strong hands that you don't
Yeah.
mind calling off. And then like some trash. And the trash here is probably like offsuit kings, offsuit queens, like Queen 9 offsuit is actually a pretty good one to raise fold here. You want to block more high cards. It's a little bit different than normally, because like normally the playability matters, but here it doesn't matter at all. It's just high card stuff, blockers, 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 very important. So yeah, this one is just a jam. It just plus EV to jam, makes you money. The big blind actually has to call pretty tight because if he loses, he's a short stack. So there's a lot of pressure on him. So he can't really just call like normal ranges either. Small blind can call a little bit like close to ICM, but at the same time not really because he also benefits from folding because once I jam, there's like I don't know like a 5% to 10% chance that I bust, right? So he wins that money. So
Yeah, yeah.
so
Even a small
just a
blind.
good spot to actually jam pretty wide here.
Yeah, yeah. Like even though small blind, if he falls, sometimes dealing with call, and then he just gets to free roll a pay jump here. So it's good, very good situation for the small blind. Now I think this is a very good situation for you table wise because you have the two guys with chips on your right, and you can so go after these guys blinds at least. It will be either a lot messed up if you have like one guy in your right and the other one in your left, right? It will be much worse for you because now you cannot open jam as much because if he calls you, you're fucked. So yeah, I think taking advantage of this, also knowing that one of these guys is gonna be a recreational player, which is this guy, right? The guy with 50 cent big blinds.
Well, I don't know if he's recreational, but I didn't know him at the time. So at the time, I labeled him as a recreational player. I don't think he is actually a recreational player, but that's how I built my strategy. Is like going after this guy, which I mean it did work out overall, but I don't think he's like a recreational player. I mean he's 25K, so.
Well, when you are number one in the world, pretty much anyone is a recreational
Everybody,
player.
everybody, I'm going after everybody.
All right, let me see if we have some questions here. What's up, guys? Fine table review. Yep, this is the 25K buy-in. Okay. Coach Acevedo, get back on Twitch. I'm getting back on Twitch actually this Sunday. I'll be streaming Scope for 2 weeks. Then I'm going to Miami to play the World Poker Tour, Seminole in Hard Rock. So yeah, you'll get to see me play some live games. Although my stream is in Spanish, so you might be better off looking, checking out on Giraffe streams or something like that. You ever stream on Twitch, Giraffe? No, not really.
I mean. I would just rage with all the comments in the chat. I don't think I would do like I could troll for a little bit, but then I would just like lose my mind. Like I really don't deal well with like general stupidity. So it's like after a while,
I can see you turning into a Daniel Negreanu on stream.
Yeah. Well, not like that, but yeah, I would just like ban everybody just randomly. Like that's why I don't mind like streaming for for you guys or for Poker or something like that, because like at least I know like the level
close
is pretty.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's not just trolls,
Yeah, like I remember I was on stream one time and one guy who was also a streamer, he was watching and he said that one day he was getting so upset by the comments on the chat that he had to stop the streaming. And I was like, wow, that's where like nobody has ever like gone after me. Like a couple times people have called me fish. Like they go jump in.
I don't mind that. I have more problem with like people who like want to give advice and stuff like that. Like I don't need advice, man. I'm the best. Don't tell me shit, So that's more of a problem. Like when they're like very confidently saying stuff, and I'm like, what? No, and I don't want to argue with
Yeah, like what are you doing? You should fold there. This is a clear fold, and you're like, what are you talking about?
The bluff didn't work. It's a bad bluff.
It's bad bluff.
That kind of stuff.
You're so bad. All
Yeah.
right, this one's pretty standard. Just rejamming the tens here against the open. This one we just open fold, which I'm not sure.
This one is probably good to open. Yeah. Well, the thing is, right? I think in GTO, it's kind of close because I'm supposed to get like 3-bet by the small blind a lot, and then just ripped on by the big blind, and also like the big blind shouldn't fold almost anything, just because like I can't really bluff as much because of ICM. But in reality, I think it's actually a good open because it's gonna work enough,
Yeah,
and I have good block. So
yeah,
yeah,
good
I
blockers.
kind of regret not opening this one, but it's probably really close though. I
Yeah,
feel like Ace Eight is probably just a fold, and
yeah.
this one is
This
like
this
yeah
one
whatever
is the one that yeah.
yeah.
Is there priority of blockers over playability when refined with a short stack? True for both ICM heavy situations and just cheap PV? For both, but even more importantly for ICM situations, because the game becomes more relevant pre-flop game. So yeah, you're not supposed to see as many flops, so getting blockers for short stack situations, particularly ICM, is way more important. Yes. um, Someone who was a 56 on Sharscope was criticizing my play. 56 on Sharscope, no idea what does mean.
That's low. That's low. Like I'm 99. I'm 99. So
The ability, yeah, 99. You're 99. That's
yeah,
sick,
yeah,
man.
or 97 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
90. I think I'm 94, but it's crazy.
I don't know how it works though.
I think
It's
it has to
yeah,
do with how tough the games you play, and not
yeah,
so much
yeah,
with profitability. Just
yeah. I
yeah,
think so. Yeah.
yeah. All right, so let's see. Ace King, and now this is interesting. You just ripped it for 22.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate Ace King inducing, but it's probably an induce here. Like Ace King is just too good.
yeah,
Like he's also not really incentivized to just call if I make it like 3.5. Like he kind of wants to jam anyway, but most of his like with his value with his kind of like weaker like blocker kind of hands like Ace Five, he's not gonna
yeah.
flat. I think.
Like if the thing is, if he has Ace 7, right? He's not gonna call you off, but he will rip if you raise, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's gonna rip. I think he's just gonna fold a lot. Like
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, I just really don't like inducing in these kind of ICM spots
I
because like
think
I don't
it's
want him to. The problem is I don't think it changes his range too much. Like his limp calls are probably very close to his like limp jams, and his limp jams that he adds are probably like really bad hands equity wise against mine. Like you say, like A7, like some shitty aces, maybe some king X, you know. So yeah, it's definitely better, and he's not gonna call a lot. Which like if he calls, it's actually pretty bad. Even though I'm in position with a strong hand, it's really because of ICM, it's just trash.
yeah.
But it's not the worst spot, right?
It's
It's
not
not
the
the
worst.
worst
Like
spot.
I remember a few years ago when Doug Polk started, I don't know, like playing some entities, which I don't know how that happened, but he just crushed a bunch of entities like Party Poker Online Millions or something like that, and then one
Yeah.
is super high in Vegas also. Um, but I remember seeing him like open jamming, I don't know, ace jack offsuits for 22 big blinds in the hijack, stuff like that. And he was like, I don't know what to do here. I'm just going to shove my hand. And it worked. And, he ended up, I don't know, making a lot of money there. And it just makes me wonder, like, sometimes just preserving your stack and whatever, just running with your okay hands or your good hands is might be, I don't know, good. Like I've seen this happening a lot of times with recreational players, particularly playing live, where maybe in Vegas, stuff like that. Like you they just for example playing the main event, they will check raise like infinite when they have a good hand, and they will never allow you to draw them. Right? I don't know,
Yeah.
but somehow this works for them, and
It's
you
true.
just
It's true. Yeah.
yeah, just keep seeing these guys getting deeper and deeper in the turn because they don't take as many risks. So I don't know, maybe there's something here that I don't
I
mind it
mean,
either. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like the thing is, you because people are kind of like tighter and a little bit more passive than they should be, you do under realize with like hands like Ace King if you compared to like normal, but it's still probably slightly better than just ripping it here because like ripping is, I mean, it's obviously plus EV, but like I mean.
yeah. Like the
Yeah,
things.
it's just not the best option. I think like just inducing is just
Yeah.
it's just better. It's just better here.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely is, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too traumatized because every time I do so, I know I get it in. I see a flop, I get busted. Like,
I mean, in general, like you really don't want to induce in ICM spots. Like, I mean, if your range is balanced, then it's fine, of course. But like in these kind of spots, it's very hard to balance like your like because you don't really like I don't really want to go 3.5x fold too much here like because it does hurt my stack a lot. So I kind of just want to check a lot, and then I feel like if I want to like, if I have like top of my range, I feel like jamming, that's kind of like my style. Like I don't think I can induce too much, but like the top of your range you do want to induce like because it's just like I've seen a lot of people just punt it off in these kind of spots as well. So you just there's still a lot of value in inducing for
Yeah,
sure.
I think I'll probably induce here as low
Yeah,
as Ace
how high would
Jack.
you go here? Ace Jack, yeah, Ace
Yeah, I
Jack,
think
yeah.
yeah,
And
I
then
think
what pairs? Because pairs are a little bit more tricky,
yeah,
right?
pair trickier. Like I'll probably induce with nines and eights maybe, and then everything else I'll probably just ship it. Yeah, nines,
Yeah,
eights plus. I will probably no, maybe nines, eights. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Eight,
I feel like eights is better as a jam, man. Like even
yeah,
nines is kind of
yeah,
close because
yeah.
like you don't want to induce like king 10 also,
No,
right? Like
no.
you
Yeah,
just
so
rather just
probably
rip it and
nines
have him fold.
plus ace jack and then a bunch of bluffs. Not a bunch, but just some random bluffs. A few king highs that I would like to raise fold and just shove everything that is decent equity in the middle and check back a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's probably the range that I'll play. But yeah, even the ace jack. I don't know. Maybe I'm too. I don't know to risk to. Yeah, I like taking
No, no,
risk
no.
even
I
though
mean,
they work for me.
we can actually like this spot is solvable. I think
Yeah.
in Monker with ICM or something, you can probably solve the spot. It's not going to be super complex. And I think it's going to be what Ace King is probably like a mix, and the biggest part is going to be inducing here, and
Yeah.
maybe like 25% jamming, something like that.
I have a question here. It says from the big blind with the ace king, would you rather induce with a pocket pair like tens by raising 3.5 instead of jamming? Would you ever consider inducing by checking back from the big blind? That's not inducing. It's kind of a slow playing. That you can do that if you're like really shallow. For example, once I did it the WSOP in live game. We were, I think, past the bubble or something like that, and in a 2K buy-in tournament, and the small blind limps, I check back aces or kings, I think, and the flop I don't know was like 6 high, and he just open jam, and he had like I don't know king 2 offsuit, and I snapped it off on the flop. It was
Uh,
crazy, like everybody at the table went crazy. They couldn't believe I checked back aces on on
uh,
the
like
pre-flop.
when it comes to slow playing, like don't slow play Ace King. I would say it's kind of. I feel like Ace King is not a good one to slow play, but
No,
like
no.
Aces Kings, you can always slow play. If For me, I really don't like slow playing in general because again, I don't think people bluff enough. I don't think people value bet thin enough, but I do think people get it in pretty close to what they should pre-flop. So I don't want to waste all of that equity, right?
Mm.
Because if I slow play, you need people to bet, and I don't think people are aggressive enough. In general, people are too passive. So I really don't like slow playing in general. But this one is an okay spot, right? Because he is gonna bluff
Yeah,
a lot of like pretty high frequency, in my opinion. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Like versus me,
Nines.
you can definitely slow play in these kind of spots because I'm going bet like 100%, and then the river I might punt it off. That's I cover guys like nines is it's what 14 bigs. You could induce here, but
No,
yeah, actually,
I like
yeah,
jamming here.
yeah,
Yeah, because it just hurts you so much. Like here you can, get these guys to fold. I don't know, queen 10, king 10. If they rip it on you and they flip,
yeah. Well, I don't think the problem is him ripping because okay, so the big man here is a very good player, so the problem is more him calling and me not realizing my equity versus like jamming because
yeah.
if I jam, he still has to call like a lot of hands that beat me. But if I open raise, is he really jamming like fives? Maybe not, right? Maybe
No.
he's just calling. So I don't want to lose that equity, I guess. If the big man was a weaker player, I would probably induce because I don't mind if he calls, right? Because I still have like a pretty big edge. But here, he's a good player, so I'm not gonna exploit him too much there, I think.
Yeah. I like the chop with nice for sure. I will go with min raising tens plus in that spot. Here we have
Okay.
an easy fold now, and it would have folded even if the small blind didn't
Yeah.
go in. Yeah.
Okay. That's very good. Good player out.
Nice. Go after it again. Two
So now
colors.
I'm like by far the short stack.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit less ICM on me, like risk premium. Like I'm supposed to get it in pretty wide. Like my value range goes a lot wider, so I can use more bluffs. So this one is definitely an open, like clear open.
Mm-hmm.
Just ace blocker is very good here.
Yeah, I like it for the cutoff. Now this flop, even though you're supposed to still have like a bunch of overpairs hitting whatever, Big Blind just he's gonna have everything because he's not folding anything. He's gonna have so many deuce X here.
I mean, the
Um,
problem is the small blind. Like, what the fuck does he have? Like, he shouldn't call a single hand, in my opinion. Like, he should just three bet get it in with everything. And so this is why, like, especially in ICM, right? Like, he should just make me fold everything. Also, like him calling, like, really invites the big blind to squeeze, and it is it's Gravy Boat. It's what's his name? The Scottish guy. I chopped with him. Yeah, so like he's a good player. He's a good aggressive player. So you don't really want to flat too much hands here. Like I flat zero hands here in his spot. Zero, zero, like zero combos.
mm,
So and I know I'm the best. So when he flats here, I know he's making a mistake, right? So the only way is like, how is he making a mistake? Is he calling like Queen Jack? Is he calling ace nine, or is he calling like pairs, all of them, like all those small pairs or something like that? Is he calling like aces sometimes here? Like I don't see how he can slow play either though. So I feel like delay c betting is still like an option. I feel like c betting is not like my range is very strong, but a lot of my range doesn't really mind like checking back, and it really hurts getting check raised with like a lot of my hands, in my
yeah.
opinion. So,
Like even if you have aces and you get check raised, you're not like super happy here.
I mean, I could
By the
draw
big
like
blind, right?
one big blind here
Yeah.
and just see what happens, like just see what happens. Because like it is also like a tricky spot for small blind and big blind to get too creative here. Because okay, it's deuce deuce, it's obviously better board for the big blind because he's the only one who has a deuce here. But at the same time, if he doesn't have a deuce, is he really gonna like rep a deuce? Like, it's one of those boards that's just really hard to actually have bluffs here. So yeah, I wouldn't mind like stabbing at it, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. Now big blind starts betting. And he goes check check. And yeah,
Yeah.
ace
So
four.
ace four is absolute trash. It's horrible, horrible flat. I hate it. I think it's losing. I think it's a way better three bet fold or jam or what, or three bet call it off here actually against me
Yeah.
17 bigs.
Yeah, he
Like
has to make it like
whatever you want to do, it's going to be higher EV than flatting. Like ace four is
yeah.
just so bad flat here.
Yeah, I can just make it 7 bigs and fall to the
Yeah.
big blind, call you off. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good like thing to note though. It's like okay, he doesn't have the nuts. He has like these kind of hands that are not good enough to three bet in his mind, right? Like I think it's good enough to three bet, but for him it's not good enough. So now that I know that, I'm gonna like probably start pouncing pretty hard on that guy, uh, if I know myself. Yeah.
Like let me see if I can find some charts here. Because even in GPV, like there shouldn't be too much of a flatting range versus cutoff. So 17 bigs, cutoff mean raises here. Yeah. Yeah, so just for the students to see here, right? Even if we're talking about pure GPV at 17 bigs, there shouldn't be much of a calling range, right?
I mean, of course, he has to worry about the big stack behind, so he doesn't really have an all-in range, right? So it's not going to be this wide.
Yeah, yeah,
But
he does.
it just shows like the reality is like there's not a lot of calling, even when there's a guy behind. It's just three bet getting it in with
Yeah,
like probably slightly tighter range than that one.
exactly. So if you can jam because the big stack on the big blind, what you do is just three bet to a bet size that will commit the other guy. So just put the opener, the cutoff, in a situation where he has to go all in or fold. So you're effectively going all in against him, and now you can fold against the big blind if he puts any more money into the pot. All right. We just check back this one, which is crazy. Now I think when the small blind limps here, he just has trash like almost always, because you're not gonna jam that many hands, and I don't think he'll be slow playing. I think in this situation you can expect the small blind to just open jamming all of the decent hands, and a lot of hands. Like he just can jam so many hands here, right? Pretty much
He's
everything.
gonna be like in his spot. I just jam everything, but there is like a strategy where it's just again it's super polar. You limp super polar, like you limp like the bottom. That's somewhat playable. Like I don't know, like 6-3 offsuit is probably an okay limp here, and then you can just You can just like
Trap
induce
aces
with
and
aces,
kings. Yeah.
kings, and shit like that. Yeah.
Okay. Just fold.
But I don't know how he plays exactly though. Like it's best for me to not just rip it there with 4-3 if even if I think like he's not going to induce too much there. Like I don't think it's necessary, you know.
Yeah, like you just do it one time and he has aces. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Get it in here with the
Okay,
ace
and
jack and
then
winning a flip.
get there. That's a big one. That's a big
Very
one.
big flip here. This flip is gonna be worth a lot of money equity. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. This
so
one is
much.
yeah. This is a lot. But the thing is like I got in short, right? So like if I busted in fourth, it would have been okay, right? Like it's not. I was in for 3 bullets though, so it's not like a big win, but you're always happy to not lose money in these high rollers. So yeah, it's you have to win those, you know, if you want to win.
You have to win
Gotta win
those,
those.
man. I was actually getting ready some videos from last scoop that I clips that I took from Twitch to post on Instagram, 1 minute video clips. So I was doing that yesterday, and I found a hand where I busted the final table bubble of a scoop 1K. And I sick but the typical story. I had pocket queens against king jack, but the sick thing is that one guy folded king 10 of hearts. So the guy, the short stack, he only has like 2 outs and he spikes the king against me. So I was looking at this one and and I didn't even remember it. And it's crazy how just one hand can like change so much the course of a story, right? Because now instead of posting one short stack, getting to the final table as I'm no second in chips, I lose almost all of my stack and then busted. I think I was the bubble for the final table. So just yeah, there's some hands that are so key like this one. You just lose the ace jack and that's it. And how much was it for four here? Like 200K maybe.
Yeah, something like that. 200. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
something
four
like that.
hundred thousand dollars difference.
Yeah.
It's so much freaking money, and it's
Yeah.
just a
Well,
flip.
I mean, the EV is probably like 100,000, right? Win or lose 100K, which I mean, it like it's not going to change because I mean it's 25K, so like it's just the way it goes, right? But like sometimes, like if you're deep in the Sunny Million or like when the scoops come or like these big events next month, like you're gonna have these kind of scenarios where like a flip on a final two table or final two tables is gonna be like worth so much more than like you've ever flipped for, which is kind of insane. But yeah, you just gotta, you just gotta. It happens, right? Like
Yeah,
the thing with me is like I bricked for a whole year, man, and I played pretty like high volume, and I didn't win anything for a year. I
that's
just I
crazy.
didn't lose too much, but
But
I
yeah,
broke even basically for a year, and it's like after a while, like it's like, am I, you start doubting yourself, but
yeah,
like that's why like it's good to study and not just to get better, but just to see that okay, I'm doing stuff right, or I know what my mistakes are. It's not like just losing flips or what, like because
yeah,
run bad is whatever. Like you
yeah.
can you can run bad forever, but if you put in the volume, it's gonna be
Yeah,
it just yeah, you can grind it out for sure.
best way to beat variance is just put in a ton of volume, which is really important. Now the funny thing about this hand is that I didn't even remember posting the final table
Yeah.
with I didn't even remember it. I was looking at the few clips that I have collected, making putting everything together into Premiere Pro, and I was like, holy shit, this actually happened to me, right? So at the end of the day, just don't put too much thought into those hands or those situations because they're gonna come and go. So even even for me, like maybe winning that tournament would have been a huge deal, but 1 year later I didn't even remember the spot until I watch it. So it's crazy. Now this one, just look at it, and maybe a year from now, Giraffe wouldn't even remember that he won a sick flip for that meant 400K more.
I mean, I didn't know, I didn't remember now,
Yeah.
Like I have no idea. Like I forget everything. I forget everything. The only hands I remember is when I bluff somebody or I punt it off. Like those are the only ones. Like flips, I never remember anything. The hand that I remember the most is not because of me. It's because of Jeff Gross. Has like I was at the final table with him in the 1K, like the big
Mhm.
one, and he has like a trauma because I destroyed him when he had jacks. and it's like he keeps posting it everywhere, like the hand that he remembers.
You story
So every
what
time I have
happened in
to,
that hand? I'm curious now. I want to know what happened.
I think, I mean, it's somewhere on YouTube. So it's basically, he has jacks and he's kind of like a nit, right? So like I think he flats an open from under the gun with jacks. I squeeze with ace king. He clicks it and I click it, and then he calls it or something. Like it's a crazy spot where I think it's either like a cold four bet by me or like a click five bet by me, and then I just double barrel with ace high, I think, like super small sided. But it's like 4 years ago, so I didn't know what I was doing. But I still know that I still knew that I could make him fold literally any two cards, so I was just going for it. But yeah, it's like one of those hands where he's like, ah shit, like he remembers it because it's, I mean, it's a super big one. Like it was like 700K for first in a 1K, so. I understand that, like he remembers it, but like I wouldn't remember if he didn't bring it up
Like
every single
posted
time. Something,
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I never remember. I never remember hands.
No, man, nothing. Like I was in a podcast with Jennifer Shahari, and she was making this grid where she just
Yeah, yeah.
tells people to just talk about a memorable hand, and I didn't have anything. I was like, can you tell me a memorable hand that you wanna have for the podcast? Or like I have none.
Mm.
I've played thousands
I
of
have the same.
hands.
I have the same problem, man. Like, I mean, I think she might ask me at some point, but I don't know. Like, I'll be happy to do it, but I have the same problem. I just don't like. I don't remember anything. I think it's more like live hands. You're gonna remember more, right? Because
Maybe,
it's more
yeah.
visual. You know, you have like these things. Like it's always the same online.
Yeah, when I did this, the hand that I talk about was one hand that I even didn't I played it. It was a hand that I used to be in a very old GTO group with Ape Styles and Stephen Chidwick, a few guys like that, and so Stevie played a hand with A2 offsuit that I discussed with them, and that hand got me into their side group. Like yeah, I just earned my tuition, I don't know, with them for talking about the hand. So I mentioned about the hand because I have no hands whatsoever. Like for example, that one that I just mentioned, Pocket Queen is posting a final table for 1K scoop. If I don't see the fucking video, I don't remember it, and it's crazy. So yeah, all right. Let's
Yeah.
see. There's something in the chat. Word your way backwards from. Nope. Just remember, start with button cutoff. I did see. Okay, new question. How do they all? Oh, okay. Order of the seats. Okay, no, there's somebody answered to that in the chat. All right, let's keep it going. So now we have this in stack. We can open, but we get 3-bet, and I'll be tempted. Like you have the 9-8 suited. Like for example, in the past, I know 100%. I'll click call here. Now I wouldn't do it, but 100% in the past I will click call here because it's just so tempting, man. 9-8 suited, but yeah.
It's a super easy fold. Like
Yeah.
the way ICM works. But the thing is, right? Like you see really good players make these calls, and they
Yeah.
call with like, but even think about like better hands, right? So 9-8 suited is kind of like it's a pretty hand, but it's kind of an easy fold still, right? But even if you think like Queen Jack suited, easy fold. King Queen suited, easy fold. Like all these hands are either a jam, like King Queen, you can make a case for just ripping it here because you block like kings and queens, and Ace King and Ace Queen. So you could jam King Queen,
Yeah.
but there's no calling. Like in my opinion, there's no calling ever, even
Yeah.
in position. Let's say he three bets me this sizing from a small blind, I still have to fold. I still have to fold. Yeah, that's just how it goes, man. Like it's one of these things that people don't seem to grasp.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
difficult. It's
yeah,
tough. Like I'll make these mistakes so much in the past. Like now that I see it, I think about it, and it makes more sense. Also with the ICM study that I put recently, but this is something really new. Like I'm changing my style for the last, I don't know, few months. Stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
This stuff is so new. Like in the
yeah,
past, just last year, W Coops, I would make this call all day long.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like it is possible to call, but I mean not this hand, but like it's possible to have a calling range, but it's still like so complex to build your range because like there is like, I mean this one is maybe a little bit easier because there is no clicking here in this spot. I think yeah, it's not possible. Like if he's like 35 deep, you can click it here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can make it like 8 big blinds here, and he's fucked with his polarized range. So like that's more of an option than calling. But if you start splitting your ranges and all these kind of little things, you can do it. Like if you look at Monker and you put in this exact spot, put in this exact sizes and stuff like that, payouts and stuff, you can build a strategy, right? There is probably some calling like with some frequency, but in game it's impossible. Like you will never realize your equity if you call here. You will never realize because what happens is you check fold like 70-80% of the time here. Like you just don't get to jam because you don't get to jam over like on top of him. Like it's not like you flop a pair and you're like, oh, let's get it in. Like it's not like that, you know. Even though we're kind of short here, that's not an option. So
Now,
yeah.
if you have 60 big blinds here, you still not calling anything?
I mean, yeah, you can
Now you
call,
can.
yeah, but
Now you can because he can
yeah,
fold. He can bluff that
yeah, like
much.
once you cover people and it's like deep enough, you can start calling. But like, there's still like a thing where, personally, I think just clicking with like a somewhat reasonable, playable, like top heavy range is better than calling.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in my opinion, it's just
Okay.
hard to do.
And what about bet size? Like if he makes it here like 4.2 big blinds, just double your bet. Still not calling?
I mean, I would call, but yeah, like the thing that happens then is like I'm gonna start clicking way more, like just making it like 6 big blinds and just let's fucking click because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
you're
don't think
clicking on me. Let's play the clicking game. Let's go.
yeah, like old school style, like old school, like you see people on these
Like
like
I'm the not
yeah,
sit 7 betting 10 deuce.
yeah,
Yeah.
just clicking it, and just keep clicking and just that's how it works actually. Like I'm really convinced that's how it works because like there's like the post flop tree is there's defending in the big blind and that's it. Like there's not really the deeper you are, of course, there's a little bit more calling and there's some pairs that you can set mine and shit like that. But in general, there's just no flatting
This is
and no
eye-opening.
like
I like it.
calling.
I like it. If they go so small, they're clicking it. You just keep clicking on them. I like that.
Just keep clicking, you know.
All
Because
right.
then when they call, like when you click it and they call, even when they're trapping, you can still just throw out like 2 big blinds and they're still kind of fucked. Like they can't really do anything. Like unless they start also clicking on the flop, right? Like if everybody starts clicking, it's just like it's a different game, but it's still kind of the. I think it's the future, man. Like you're
I
gonna see
like
a
it.
lot more clicking.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. This is eye-opening for me. Like I like it. I like it. Now next time some more fucker puts that on me, I'm clicking it the shit out of him. Let's go for
Sure.
it. All right. Okay. Michael. Nope. I'm Michael Acevedo. I wish, man. Somebody's asking if I'm Michael Adamo.
No.
It's crazy. Michael Aramo actually needed or wanted to get in touch with me before he started running everything super hot. He wanted, I don't know, NGW contacted me with him, and I told him we can get together and do some study or whatever it is that he wanted it for before after Vegas a couple of years ago. Then that for some reason get postponed, and then eventually he just skyrockets stakes and everything. I'm like, holy shit! How come I never talked to this guy, man? I don't know what could have happened there. All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We fold. Ace King. Raise Tibet. Let's roll it. Get some folds. Now this one is interesting. So we cover, so we get to limp some hands now. Playing a limping strategy. I like it. Checks. Check calling the pair board is reasonable. Like when he bets here, he just polarizes himself so much, right? And King Queen High is still gotta be ahead of his range. Also we cover, so he doesn't really have that many opportunities to barrel off.
I still don't. I don't know. I would probably play it different. Like I think I limped Queen Deuce because I was like, okay, it's just good enough to limp, but I think it's still just better to open like very high frequency with like high low offsuit kind of hands here.
Yeah, when you cover, you're supposed to raise a
A
ton,
lot.
but you can
Like
also,
yeah.
but you can also
We're very
limp.
close in stack. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also
Yeah.
limp
I
because
mean,
it's
I
not
can do
raising.
whatever I want, but
Yeah.
like
Okay.
he's a good player, so I don't know. I feel like raising is a little bit better. And then, I mean, check calling is fine, of course, but it's again, it's not. I feel like I should just bet myself, man. Like, what is he gonna do? It's kind of like a board where he shouldn't fold too much, but at the same time, because of ICM, he's gonna have to fold a lot of turns if he doesn't. Like, if it's a break and he has like, I don't know, Jack 8, there's nothing he can do. 7 8, like 5 7, like he has to call these on the flop, but he can't continue on the turn. So I feel like betting myself is probably slightly better.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Plus, having a heart in our hand is good. Blocking some continues, and now we just call it off, and I like it. Like, yeah, what is he really repping? A 6? Probably betting the turn.
I
Uh,
mean, th this looks cool because, oh, I have deuce, but like it's kind of an easy call. Most of my range is actually ace high, king high here. Um,
yeah, so
because
having a pair is
yeah, the pairs are nuts. It's kind of the same hand, but like it's just wait, like it's just a snap call, right? Like, and then I probably have to call some aces here as well because he just has a lot of hands that kind of want to bet the flop once I check, like exactly the hand he has, and then he realizes, oh, he doesn't really want to triple barrel on these kind of boards, so he checks a lot, and then he can value bet with like, I mean, he can still have some value bets here too, but it's very easy to overbluff in this spot, in my opinion.
yeah. With the combo he has, I think he should double barrel.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think he should probably triple barrel and just go like half pot on the river, like also not all in on the river.
Mm.
Just go like small flop, kind of half pot on the turn, like still rep, um, like pocket fives even or whatever, like rep pretty wide, and then on the river still kind of rep pretty wide, like not going super polar. And then I have to start ripping a lot of hands, and that's just not going to happen. The reality is it's not going to happen. But that's the thing. Like, those are like strategies that it's in game. It's kind of hard to do. With 9-7, like, how do you know if it's a good one to triple barrel um, compared to other hands? Because it's a limp pot, right? So he has so much combos, so he has to be careful with over bluffing in all of the lines, right? Like compared to his value, yeah.
Yeah, I think on the deuce brick on the turn, yeah, I like the min bet flop, and then something like 40% turn, and then like 60% river is probably what the sizes that I will probably pick here. And this one, now this one is weird because having one hard maybe wants you sometimes like give it up on the river, but at the same time, small blind shouldn't have like that many like hard combos because he'll be check raising. So I don't think the hard is that relevant anymore.
I just don't know if his sizing is good on a river though after check turn. I think he should either rep uh like any pair and just bet half pot, or rep like a 10 or like slow played aces or pocket tens or something like that and overbet.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, like
yeah.
half pot or overbet. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know though.
No,
It's
but I
a, it's a, it's
agree.
a, it's a tricky spot, yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think it will make more sense than CC there. Going for the three bet with the aces.
No
Doesn't get
action. I
no
mean, this one
action.
I could definitely slow play because he's a short stack, so he's going to open a lot of hands.
Hmm.
But same thing, man. I am gonna have a lot of three bet folds there, so I just put in aces there. Even though it's probably slightly higher EV to just slow play that exact one.
Yeah, but it's good, man. Because you are so aggressive, and when you still have top of your range every time, it's so difficult to play against. If you start like removing aces from your three bets, people are gonna just ripping in your
Rip
face
it,
so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I had that problem for a while, where I was just three betting everything, and I was like, I'm not even three betting aces every time. So yeah, that goes. But actually, a lot of players do that because they have two different sizes, and they have like aces and kings in the one sizing, and then if they're over bluffing their other sizing, they're fucked. Like, but it's very hard to know. You need some sample and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah.
We see the chat.
Okay, so this one is actually interesting. Yeah, eights is a call. Okay, that's very
Um,
interesting. So yeah, I think it's okay though.
Small won't be check range flushers on a pair board, though, right? Yes, he will because he covers. Here I like the call too. Like we don't wanna go broke with eights against bottom when he covers. So
So this is a very unique situation, I think, because like eights is basically my entire range. Like not exactly eights, but like I don't really have a lot of ace high, like ace X here, because I would just three bet or fold. I don't really. I mean, even three betting like king queen because I don't like. I don't mind if I get ripped on even with king queen here with 40 big blinds. I don't think I can call profitably. Uh, but I think with pairs, it's a very unique spot in ICM where if you flop a set, it's a very clear like never fold spot, and that's kind of good because even with top pair in ICM, it's not an automatic like triple
Let's.
call or whatever. Like you can't always call down, and with a set you can always call down. So that's kind of like how I think about these spots is like I'm pure set mining here.
Yeah, I like it. Pairs are so much easier to play. You just either flop a set or you miss, and then you just give it up. Like here, for example, let's say the flop instead of the 8 has a king or a queen. You check, somebody bets, you have second pair, you can just check fold easily against two players, so not a big deal. Now I
It's a
like.
very unique spot where I check the big blind leads one third, which is definitely without ICM is definitely a play. With ICM, it's probably also a play on this board. Like this is a very good board for small, like for big blind, and even though our range, like the buttons range is super wide, he's still kind of like handcuffed because of my range. So it's a very good spot to lead pretty wide here, and then the call, and then I just never slow play anything, so I just click it and just hope that I get some money out of this one. Like it's a very like I don't think calling is ever an option here. Just the sizing is maybe an like I go pretty small, right? I go very small because I want to like have the illusion that I will fold to the big blind, you know? Because the big blind has the nuts, and I never have the nuts, right? I never have 6-4. I never have 9-6. So I feel like I still want to have like this kind of range that wants to raise fold here. But yeah, it's kind of a tricky spot. I don't know
Now,
what he had though. It's kind of it's a
now
weird hand.
it's such a bad turn, but we are still like uh, not folding. Now the thing is, you bet here, right? If he calls, what's your plan for the river? Like checking or betting small again?
Betting
Unless you
small
make.
again, yes.
Okay.
Unless of course I improve. Like I think I still went a little bit too big here. I feel like I should go smaller.
Yeah.
And just wrap everything. The reality is though, like in my opinion, if he had a 6, he should rip it on the flop every single time, and I think he will. Because I mean, he has fold like he covers me, so I should fold like real hands sometimes, you know. And he's gonna be very incentivized to just punt it off with a 6 here. Um, so, but I still think I should go smaller because I want to have like I'm not gonna have a lot of bluffs like ever, but my value is kind of like I don't just want to have a straight here because I think it kind of limits the way I
Yeah,
can play it
yeah,
here.
exactly. So it's similar to a situation where we discussed in a previous webinar where when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
yeah the 4 card straight completes on board, you want to go small with a bunch of hands. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think yeah something like maybe 5.5 big blinds, 6 big blinds. This 7 feels a bit too big. Get a fold, but yeah, just I think bet small, bet small. Unless you improve, then
Hmm.
then everything changes,
Yeah,
of course.
the river is gonna be a shit show anyway. But the reality is like if he calls, like I mean, he probably beats me. I mean, he's gonna beat me like most of the time, unless he has like sevens or five, like fives or something, you know.
Yeah, could also
Uh,
like he could have like Jack 10 suited maybe, with backdoor
I mean, I went,
flusher.
I went, I went pretty small, yeah. So he could definitely still have it, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I was wondering about this one. Yeah, smaller on the turn and then bet again small on the river. I like it. It's very tricky. It's difficult to play against that because even if he has a 6, like he's not really gonna raise you. So you just get to
Yeah,
yeah to set up
realize
the
my
value.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to go maybe a bit smaller normally. Like I don't know. I felt like maybe I didn't want to go too small because then I'm inducing him or something. But it's not really the case here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So now we have chips,
Now we
guys.
have yeah. Now we're a chip leader. Now it's party time.
It's party time. Yeah, and we
Call it
roll
off
it.
here. I mean, it's
Oh,
kind of it's kind of close, but I think it's. I mean, if he has ace ten also sixes is fine.
yeah.
19 bigs, yeah, it sucks, but I think this one is a run. Like we just run it here.
You think? Of course. Yeah. Such a weird. Uh,
The reality is like, okay, if he plays correctly, he's not going to jam fives here. But I think he will jam deuces to fives here,
mm,
and ace five suited sometimes, So I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah.
yeah. I'll probably. I don't know. I'll probably
I mean, I could fold.
fold.
I think I tanked. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was really close. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let's go gamble.
Because we just got the chip leaders and yeah. I don't know.
This one, it's very close. I think
Yeah.
sevens feels like a call, and then fives feels like a fold, and then sixes again. It's like,
Yeah.
but I think fives is also like, I mean, there's no real difference. There's a little bit difference actually. Ace five is there. Yeah.
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 Like
I mean, I think sixes is close. I think sixes is cut off here. Yeah.
yeah, it's so close. Unfortunately, we lose that one, but now we have tens.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
just
pretty
see that.
standard. Check it back. Nice. Check, check. Check,
Yeah.
check.
No crazy stuff here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could raise for value, but I don't want to open myself up here. He should be sometimes like trappy, slow playing here, but not a lot, of course, but a little bit. So he could bluff me off some hand, so I just call. There's not a lot of value in raising.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of value in raising. Like, okay,
Limp here,
straight.
get there. Yeah, size up.
Yep. I
I
like
think
it.
this is fine. I just have to go bigger there.
Now this one we just fall against the mean bet, and I guess
This one is
it's
this one is probably a defend here for sure. Because he hasn't been like super aggro either. So I feel like I am gonna see a river at a pretty high frequency. And also like queen high is probably good.
yeah, two
But
overcards to the second pair.
he did check down with four high before.
Yeah, yeah,
So, that's maybe another thing to consider.
yeah. This
Yeah,
one
so three
is.
betting here.
Mhm. I like it. Like, and the same thing that we've been discussing all the way through. Typically, you don't want to be three bet folding hands like this one from the small blind in cheap EV environments, but I like it. As we have mentioned this several times before, you don't really want to be playing out of position, seeing flops, and just it's so difficult. Just try to focus your game around pre-flop. I like the three bet there. Opening here, three bet to fold, keep aggressive, folding, but that's fine. Like now just rip the fives.
Rip it. Yeah, standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Open. See it now. This interesting spot here with the ace. I like it because we don't have spades. We don't have hearts. Yeah, I think it's a prime combo to go for it. And now that everything bricked. Yeah. Like we have to. Let's go. Roll
Man,
it.
this one I was like, this is one of those hands where, okay, if you get snap called here, how bad does it hurt? And I feel like just exactly this combo is just a perfect bluff. So I have to go for it. I just
Yeah.
have to go for it. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what he had. He probably just had a spades or something,
Yeah. Or a queen. Who knows?
Yeah, or I mean, he should definitely fold a
Yeah.
queen on the river. I mean, obviously, but yeah, because
Yeah.
like my value range is very. I mean, I do have like ace deuce offsuit here. Like I have all of the value combos. So I mean, maybe not ace deuce. Actually, maybe not all of the ace X. I'm gonna like triple barrel here exactly like this, but a lot of them, all of them. So yeah, it's very nice bluff. Very nice bluff. I
Yeah.
was very happy.
Yeah, it's really nice. It feels good when it works. When it doesn't, it feels bad, but still really good.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. It's gonna work sometimes,
Yeah, I like. Let me see if there are some questions here. Yeah. Okay. If the three bet rips nine on the turn, you have to fold your set. When you had a set of eights, okay. If
And he goes
the
all in. Yeah, I fold.
yeah
Because he only has like Jack 10 or sixes.
yeah
Like he never has he doesn't have any draws. He just doesn't have any. And
yeah,
he
it's not
like
bluffing.
I don't
He's going
yeah
for value only. Exactly.
yeah. And I don't think he's jamming like sevens or five like lower sets. So or he's gonna raise them more on the flop or something like that. Like he just had like if he rips it there, he has a six. So I know I can fold my top set there, which is kind of insane. But like That's the way it goes, man. I feel like the only mistake I made is that I should go smaller on the turn. That's it. I think
Yeah,
everything else
everything
was
else is
fine.
good. Yeah, and it's a small mistake. Like if you think about it, like I bet 10 big blinds. Man, I should have bet 5.5.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so bad. I'm the worst. And you split pretty much everything perfectly, and then you hammered yourself down for a small error in a bet size. Like,
Yeah, and maybe end game it's like it makes it a little bit better because he's gonna like just fold like maybe some high equity draw like a 10 there, like 10-8 or something, or 10-9 or something like that. To big sizing, like or to 7 big blind sizing instead of a 5.5, which is actually good for me, even though like I mean I don't want him to fold worse hands, but like it's not the worst if he folds like hands that are live,
yeah.
it's pretty good.
Now this one again is an easy fold. Might be tempting to roll it, but no, no, just don't do it, guys.
It's still like 14 bigs, right?
Yeah,
Like so it's
yeah,
still
it's
a
still
bit
quite a
much.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, now this
Okay.
one, check back, it's reasonable. He's going to lead so many hands here for that bet size, so we have an easy call. And now the river, he goes for that weird looking bet size, and you hear a call here. This one is, yeah,
I was right though.
yeah, exactly. This
That's
one
all that
is
matters.
like, yeah, this one is like, I don't know, mind blowing, man. Like to be honest with you, like, yeah, it definitely looks like he could be block betting here. I don't know.
I tanked a long time, and there was like some sizing and timing tells involved, which I can't remember right now. But I was like, I was pretty sure he didn't have a flush. With the sizings, I'm pretty sure he didn't have a flush. So then, like, I was thinking, okay, how wide is he going to value bet here? Is he going to value bet a 6 for this sizing?
Probably not.
Uh, Probably not, right? Is he going to bet an 8 for this sizing? I'm like, not all of them. So is he going to even lead all of his nines on the turn? I'm not even sure. Like he's not a very high frequency leader, so he might check some 9x on the turn. So I think he has a lot of draws on the turn, and then with his sizing on the river, I don't think he has all the flush combos. So I'm like, okay, let's fucking run it. Like because the reality is, right? Like having ace queen is basically the same hand as like pocket aces. Like if he's block like because his range is like, I don't beat any value bets, right? So even well, that's
Yeah,
not true.
well, no, that's
With
not
aces I
true.
beat, yeah, with
It will
aces
be
I beat
different if
a
he
lot more. Yeah.
pots it or something like that. Yeah, but I think he made a mistake here because he should be like sizing up quite a lot, like potting. He needs to rep a
Either
flush.
size down or size up. Same
Yeah,
thing as before.
yeah,
Like this sizing is not a good sizing.
yeah. It's difficult
And
to rep
I
anything.
understand because like I do the sizing too, but not against good players because like it looks like value, but it's like you're gonna go bigger when you have the nuts here,
Yeah.
or you're gonna go smaller to induce with a boat or value bet 10 with a 6 or an 8 or something like that. So I don't think yeah.
Yeah, I think exactly. If he bets smaller, he can even rep like block betting a 6, an 8. So it makes it more difficult for you to call with a hand like this one. If he makes a large bet size, right? He's repping a flush, straight, trips with the 3, anything like that. So and then the bluff. So I think yeah, he should definitely size up in this situation. Or size down, yeah, as you just said. So this is a really good call, man. It's a really, really good, well thought call. So shows how difficult it is to play against somebody who's this good because you're gonna be paying attention to so many details and even the wrong bet size, like in a situation like this, when you will
And
just
like
fuck you up.
in this spot, even if he shows like 10-9 or something, I don't think my call is bad. It's only bad if he shows like a 6 here. Because then I know like, oh, this my call is bad because he's value betting super thin with everything. And then like calling with ace queen is bad, right?
Hmm.
Or it's bad if he shows down the nut flush here. If he plays a nut flush like this, it's also bad, I think, my call. But if he shows like an 8 sometimes or a 9 sometimes, it doesn't mean my call is bad. It's just your my assumption is still correct, right? Like it's not like he's still gonna have some value here. I just don't think he has enough compared to his bluffs here. That's basically how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you think about it again, go to the river. The bet size, he's giving you 28% pot odds, right? So you have to be um, right only 28% of the time here, 2.5 to 1. So really good
And
price.
also, if I lose, I'm still second in chips. And if I win,
Okay.
I'm like way ahead, right? Like this here. You see, like this is such a spot for me. Like this is my jam. Like I
Now
just destroy people now.
now it's beautiful. Yeah, you have 50 bigs and all of them are tied for second place. None of
Yeah,
them wants to bust. Dream situation now.
yeah.
Yeah. We start going for it, but unfortunately he
It's
woke up. I
fine.
think he
Yeah.
woke up with a hand. Yeah, that's fine, but we have to keep just going
Mhm. Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah, also I like this one. Even though you could probably jam, I like it because you want to preserve now your stack. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I think he's actually gonna call wider than he should here, so I don't feel like jamming.
yeah, I
I think
like
I
it.
fold another one actually. Like the next one I also fold. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I just see betting. That's another thing. Like once you have a chip lead, you can just open very very wide and just see bet small, and that's it. Like that's your entire strategy. Like even if you misplay turns and rivers, if you keep sizes small and you can get away with everything because that's how ICM works, right? Like you just have to open enough, uh, and just see bet everything. That's it. So here I think it's close between like three betting small here, like going like eight big blinds and folding. But I feel like it's playable hand, so I just call. Uh, yeah, I just call here.
Yeah, I feel like I'll probably fold because those extra 2.3 big blinds can be meaningful, but I can get behind the call too. Like it's not, yeah, it's not the worst. Plus, you still cover him.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the reason why I maybe should fold here is because he has been limping weak hand.
Mm.
Like he's been showing down like really weak hands when he's limping. So he hasn't really opened a lot. But even though like now I cover him, so he should be opening instead of limping a lot more. So I don't know. It's a very close one, Jack Nine. But I think either way is fine, calling or
Yeah.
folding.
Flop the nuts here. Go
Yeah,
for the
just
check raise. I like it.
never slow play, never slow play.
Yeah.
Didn't work, but yeah.
But it's, yeah, I like that approach, man. I like the approach definitely. I'm taking some personal notes here. Let's see what happens. This is cool. I'm not playing that much, like only 2 weeks of the full series. But hopefully, I can put a lot of the stuff that I've been studying recently into work here. Yeah, just giving up feels reasonable. I might fire a bet on the flop with the 10 of clubs, but
Yeah. I agree. But he covers me now, right? Again? Oh no,
even.
it's same stack. Same stack. Yeah, it's a close one. I could definitely get behind just throwing out a bet here for sure. Because he has been betting as well, so I feel like on an ace high board, if he checks, I mean, it's actually probably more value actually, but it's not top range.
Yeah, and your
Uh,
range is actually still quite strong. Like that, you still have many
yeah,
ace x that you're checking back pre-flop. A strong ace x.
I can value bet a seven here,
Oh yeah.
realistically. Yeah.
Okay. Now this one is interesting, man. Just taking the 10 of clubs and going for it. This is a
Uh-huh.
hand that you could choose from GPV environment. Not sure, but because he still covers you now, right? So
Yeah.
maybe what is
Uh,
the main reasoning for you to take this one?
to try.
Just try, try,
Good.
try.
Like so, his range is basically any two, right? Because he can't open jam anything. Because well, he could, but it's 30 big blinds, so he doesn't really have open jams here. He's not gonna fold. I mean, he might fold like 10% of hands here. So his range is just 90% of hands. And I don't like my play necessarily. It's definitely not good GTO, like ICM, it's definitely not good. Because he should just jam any two cards here, but I don't think he will, right? So if I don't think he's gonna jam enough, and I'm pretty sure he's not gonna call a lot of hands here, even to this sizing, because I know he's pretty good. So he realizes like calling is not great against my kind of like supposedly polarized range. So I'm just trying to get away with it. I don't know if it's gonna work this time. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it
It
did
does.
work. It's not the best spot. It's definitely better to have a blocker there for sure. But yeah,
Yeah. So after that one, you just put the foot on the pedal and just keep going at it. Let's go. 10-3 offsuit.
yeah. This one is actually I think reasonable.
Yeah,
Um,
it is in
he
fact.
he has been tight. He has been tight, but he's still gonna be opening like 30% of hands here. And I feel like 10-3 is just so bad. I think it's good enough to just like do it here. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go too crazy, and I'm also gonna have a jamming range here because it's 28 big blind, so I am gonna have a jamming range here with the short stack. So I'm gonna split my range into different. Like I'm gonna have folds, but not a lot. So I'm gonna fold like 15%. I'm gonna three bet jam like 10%. Um, and then like my value getting in not all in three bet range is probably like 6% or something, 5-6%. It's not gonna be like it's gonna be like tens plus maybe to induce here.
Hmm.
Tens plus ace king only, not ace queen even. So it's very tight.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah, I
ace
think
queen suited.
random.
Yeah.
Yeah, ace queen suited. Yeah, and then like 10-3 is kind of like it's a fun one to throw in there.
Yeah, so this is crazy because if you look at it, from the viewer's point of view here, 10-3 off, so it's a crazy hand. Like it seems like a crazy hand, right? But GTO wise, I think you can take something like 10-7 oh a few times, 10-6 oh a few times here once in a while, and this one it just creates a dynamic that now Giraffe has been winning a few pots and it just creates this dynamic of momentum, right? Winning a few hands in a row, showing the aggressiveness, and people are going to like start to shut down a lot against him.
Yeah,
And
this is actually very true. Even at the high stakes, like once you show, okay, I'm the chip leader, you can't do this anymore. Like you just have
yeah,
to fold. You have to fold, and then people start folding because they should like play very tight, but they still play sometimes more tighter than they should, which
yeah,
is great. It's great for me,
yeah. It's
right?
just like putting the house in order. Like okay, now I'm table capitan. I have the chips. Yeah, you have to just start to fall
Yeah,
against me, guys.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's future game simulation where like I just scare the shit out of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And now you just start to
Yeah, they fold everything.
yeah. Now again, you just start
Yeah,
hammering.
yeah. I mean, now I think I realize that okay, if he has two strategies, the open raise and the limp, and I've seen him limp trash, it's going to be it's very hard for him to be balanced here with like enough traps here. So I'm just gonna start raising everything again. I
Yeah.
think at this
Plus you
point,
cover
yeah,
very well, so yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I,
So
again,
yeah,
like the
here,
fold
yeah, yeah.
here. No need to get, when you have
I,
this.
yeah. I also don't really benefit from busting him because like this situation is just so good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start like be able to just rip it every single time almost. Once I'm on the button, of course, not on this one. So King Nine is good enough to call.
Yeah,
He
would
checks
you
back.
probably check jam on the flop, right? If he bets.
Um, Let me think.
No, probably just call because when you have the
Probably
king,
call.
yeah,
Yeah,
when you have the king nine, you can color him when he has king jack and the king spikes,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and
I think this one is a call. Like, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
check.
it's close. It's close. Like, it really depends on like how he play. Like, if he has 100% c betting range, I think it's better for me to just rip it. I can just make him fold everything, just take my equity. But if he has like a more, like, if he checks some hands that, like, if he checks sevens and eights, I don't think I should rip because like that's kind of what I'm trying to get value from as well. If I go all in here, so if he checks those, I feel like I should just call if he bets. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Let's
And
see. So he
yeah,
goes like four, which is kind of a weird. Like I thought I tanked here, and I was like, I was pretty sure he had like ace king or ace or king queen, and I still didn't want to raise because I was like, is he gonna call if I rip it here? Like, and does he have like kings here ever? Does he have like queen 10 here ever? And I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure because I didn't know the guy, right? So I just called here. I think I'm pretty sure I just called here. Yeah, like it's definitely good enough to jam.
yeah,
But it's very important. Like I don't think he has any bluffs here. That's kind of like the weird part. Is like maybe I shouldn't play it like this if he has no bluff. Like maybe I should just lead over bet the river if I don't expect him to bluff ever. Because that's the other part is like once I see him bet four, I'm like, oh, this guy has no bluffs. So I'm kind of like in a weird spot where it's probably good enough to jam, but at the same time,
It is
I
that,
don't
that's the
know.
thing. It is good enough to jam, but the problem is that he probably bet folds here king queen and ace king, right? So if he's not calling with those hands, then he only calls
Yeah.
you when the few times that he randomly has a better hand than you. So yeah,
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't know. Like, he should really call with king queen and ace king here if I rip it, especially king queen actually. Like, king queen is such a good card. Like, a queen here is just such a
yeah,
good
with
card
that
for him to
straight blocker,
have.
but
Yeah.
if he has no bluffs here,
I don't,
like you also don't
yeah.
have bluffs, like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so yeah, it's such a weird
such
spot.
a weird
But at the same
spot.
time, like I think calling is kind of like the safe, easy option. It's never really bad there. Uh,
Now just rip it here. Yeah,
I mean, I could induce with this, but I mean they're
but
really short, so
loving it.
yeah. Have to get it in with queen seven here, I think. Yeah, he has four bigs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, get there.
get there. Limp folding seems fine. Then deuce on the bottom. Let's go. All hands.
All hands, all
Everything
hands.
goes. Now they fold to
Yeah.
you, blind on blind. Limp in the sand, deuce.
Trying. Yeah.
All
Okay, get
right,
it
so
in.
these guys get it in, and now
I think
that's it.
we make a deal, like
Yeah,
three hands in or something. So yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
that's it. Yeah. So this was a fun run, worth $650,000 for my friend Giraffe here. Um, why does he have no bluffs? Says Daniel. Because on the ace king hand, he's just checking flop and turn. Like most of the hands that he would like to bluff, will bluff earlier in the street, and then he goes for that bet size.
So
Uh,
his bluffs are going to be exactly ace queen, ace ten, right? As an option. And the reality is, he's not gonna bet ace queen as a bluff on the river. I can guarantee you, people just check down ace high every single time there, because like he just doesn't want it because he thinks, oh, I have. Well, he probably has a little bit of showdown with ace queen there, to be honest, and ace ten. So I don't think he's gonna bluff those. And those are literally the only hands he gets to the river without like betting on the flop or turn. He's not gonna open a lot on the button anyway. First of all, so like he just doesn't get to the river with like air, except ace queen, ace ten, and I don't think he's gonna bluff ace queen, ace ten for that
and
sizing
for that
ever.
sizing,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he has no bluffs, zero. And so like you just have to break it down everything together, right? Like so he's tight, like he's a kind of tight player. He's kind of short. Um, there is some ICM pressure. So his opening range already is somewhat limited here. Like look at this guy. The guy has six big blinds. So he doesn't even open like I don't even know what he could have. Like I mean, he doesn't even open, I don't know, Queen 8 here, right? Like the guy doesn't even have Queen 8 in his range. Even suited, I don't even think he has it. He's just gonna fold it pre. So yeah, you have to think about all of these things and just construct his range on the river, and then like think, okay, what are his possible bluffs? And like I said, it's Ace Queen, Ace 10, maybe like some other Ace X, and that's it. And he's just not gonna do it. Like he's not gonna do it. If he bluffs, he's gonna throw out like a smaller sizing here. He's gonna throw out smaller sizing
Yeah.
because he's targeting like a six basically if he's bluffing.
Like if you
Uh,
really wanted to bluff with some random hand, he'd probably just throw I don't know, 2.5 big blinds or maybe 3 big blinds, but 4 just.
he,
It's-
he might even bet the turn with like ace ten, you know, 'cause it's kind of like whatever. Does he have showdown? I mean, he might check. I don't know. It's hard to know, but like overall, his range, because it's so tight pre-flop, he just doesn't get to the river with bluffs. So that's why. Yeah.
we have a few comments here. It says, "Man, this reminds me how Benny Spindler used to put the heart on players at various
Yeah,
CPTs."
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a classic clicker. Yeah, he was a clicker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he plays anymore. Also, another guy is like in the live broadcast, like Joseph Chong.
yeah.
He's also famous for like clicking back in the day. He still plays a lot. I think he won like something in online Vegas thing. And he plays on GG as well. Yeah, he's a pretty good player. But everybody's like calmed down a lot since those days,
Oh
you
my
know.
God,
And
yeah.
I think it's gonna come back though. I think there's gonna be a lot more clicking in the future
That'll be
for
fun.
sure.
That'll be fun
Yeah,
because
yeah.
tiny bet sizes, mean betting. Yeah,
And betting and
you'll get
clicking. Yeah,
there.
why not? There's
Why
room.
not?
There's room. You
There's
know.
room
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
clicking back again.
yeah, for
And
sure.
here we have another comment. What 7-2 good enough for a limp? Yeah, I guess. The
I
thing
mean,
is,
it's
uh,
close,
the thing is, the
but
big blind is
I think I
supposed
can
to
get away
check
with it.
back so much, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we just get to see the flop for half a big blind getting like 4-1. I don't know in the call. It's crazy. Yeah.
It was a joke. Every hand is good enough there to play. Like it's just a matter of like, is it good enough to jam? Is it good enough to min raise fold, min raise call, or like just limp? And seven deuce is good enough to limp because it sucks in the other parts. I mean, I could just rip it. It's probably plus EV to just go all in with any two cards there. But I think limping is slightly higher EV. Just kind of funny. But yeah.
All right, guys. That was it. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was super fun. Hopefully, we'll
Yeah.
have some very crazy, cool stuff to show you. After Scoop is over. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll probably not play a live session this month because it's too high. It's too high stakes. So sorry.
Yeah.
Next month. Next.
Next one. See you. Maybe he records some footage or something and we get to review it or whatever. All right. Cheers,
I don't know.
guys. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.